So we're going to be looking at 5 most profitable types of real estate investment that you can do from anywhere in the world. So are you guys ready for me? 5 most profitable real estate investment opportunities. 5 most profitable. Number 1, property flipping. Everybody say property flipping. Come on, everybody say property flipping. So the first most profitable real estate investment opportunity I want to share today is property flipping. This is very, very lucrative. This is very, very profitable. Property flipping is basically the process of buying a real estate property, or buying a property or buying a real estate asset for the purpose of investment in the shortest possible time. Usually, it could be a land, it could be a house, and then sometimes you also add value to it, and before then flipping it. Sometimes you don't even add any value and you're able to flip it. So, for example, one of my friends was able to buy a particular property in Africa. As at the time, he got this particular property for $1 million, and in 45 days he was able to sell it for $2 million. However, I'm going to be telling you the secret to property flipping, because if you don't master the secret and you just go and do it, you will lose so much money. Also, it's very important that if you're going to do any of these teachings that I'm sharing with you, you get a mentor, you get a partner. This is not something you just go ahead and start doing without having people who can guide you, who can mentor you. So let me give you a few tips, secrets to doing property flipping very well. Number 1, buy below the market price. Every time, buy below the market price. So if you're going to succeed with property flipping, you have to, or real estate flipping, or flipping the real estate sector, you have to buy below the market price. Okay, you want to go for a distressed sale, somebody buying property way 30% below the market price, 40% below the market price, 50% below the market price. That is the secret of property flipping, right? Because hear this, smart flippers make money when buying and not when selling. Okay, everybody type it. Smart properties flippers, they make money when buying and not when selling. So they want to make sure that they're buying it way, way below the market price. Way below. Okay, so I give you an example. I just gave you one, for example. The person bought it for $1 million. However, the reason why that particular property went for $1 million, because the actual value was $2 million. The owner had cancer and needed money very urgently for medical, health reasons, and that was the reason why the person sold it that low. So you want to understand that what makes sense. Now, what then happened in his own case, he bought it and put it back in the market. In 45 days, he got somebody to buy it at the actual price of $2 million, and he made a good profit. So can you see the money in the real estate sector? If you can see the money, type, I can see the money, I can see the money, I can see the money. Number 2, secrets of succeeding in property flipping. Number 2. Now, this is still under number 1 of the 5 most profitable real estate investment opportunities, right? Number 2, strategy to be able to do property flipping very well. Okay, number 2, and this is very, very key, right? Very, very key. You don't even want to joke with this, is your ability to trade with cash. Everybody say cash. Okay, everybody say cash. So usually, you're buying below market price. Remember, that's number 1 that you must do when you're doing property flipping. Number 2, what then really helps you to be able to buy below market price? Because you have cash. So it's a cash business. When people realize that, yes, they were supposed to sell the property for $1 million, but when you say, hey, I have $500,000 cash, I'm not doing flexible payment, I'm doing outright payment, I'm giving the money all at once. Now you can bargain. Now you have the power to bargain. One of the powerful principles or secrets of Donald Trump, I don't know if you know Donald Trump. If you know Donald Trump, the real estate tycoon who eventually became the American president. Hey, Dr. Daniel Moses, good to see you. How you doing today? Right, so Donald Trump was able to buy a property, particular hotel that literally closed in New York. He was able to flip the conversation that was helping the city, and Donald Trump got 40 years tax break. Now hear this. This is the most ridiculous story I've ever heard. This is a real story. Donald Trump was refurbishing that hotel for less than $100 million. Yet he was able to get a tax break for over $160 million. So why they gave him the 40-year tax break? Again, he was one of the few people who was willing to put in that level of volume of money into that particular hotel and refurbish, and the city kind of had no choice than to give him a ridiculous discount. So very, very important, guys. You want to leverage with cash. You want to have enough money, enough funds to be able to push down the price of the property that you're buying, to be able to negotiate it to pieces, because hey, I have outright money, I have liquidity, and the money is real, it's now, I can give it to you right away if you're going to go down on the price. So these are some of the secrets to being able to do property flipping very, very well. Number 3, and this is very, very important, and don't go into property flipping if you don't have this figured out. The market, the buyer. You must have the reservoir or the database or the pool of buyers even before starting to buy. You must have them in your hand. People who can buy such property. Okay, and maybe they now want a flexible payment, which you may be open to, considering, and all you just want to do is probably, and I give an example, the property is worth $2 million. You bought it for $1 million. All you will do is to say, hey, I'm willing to sell it for $2 million, but I need your first initial payment to be $1.2 million. So what happens? You already have your $1 million you initially invested. You also have another $200,000 profit already, and you're giving the person maybe a year to pay the remaining $800,000, right? That may then be the reason somebody is willing to then buy it from you. But it's important to have had the pool of buyers. Hear this, because if you do not have how to sell it, you're just going to tie down liquid. You're just going to have $1 million just sitting down there and nobody's buying. And remember, the secret to being able to do flipping, which is number 4, is the ability to do as many deals as possible. So it's not really about the profit margin. When it comes to property flipping, number 4, not about the profit margin, but about the volume of transactions you can do. So I have $1 million. I'm able to get a property worth $2 million. Now, even if I don't mind, I may even sell it for $1.5 million if I can sell it in 20 days, in 30 days, so that I can move to the next deal, and then the next deal, and then next. By the end of the year, I've done 5 to 10 deals with my initial $1 million, right? And I've turned $1 million to possibly $5 million. Now, are you ready for number 2? Number 2, 5 out of the 5 most profitable real estate investment opportunity that you can do, or you can go into, you can invest into. Number 2 is short-led business. Everybody says short-led business. So number 2 real estate investment opportunity is to go into short-led business. So, and this is even one of the easiest you can actually go into. right? This is one of the easiest you can go into. And I'll tell you why I say it's the easiest. Because it also can be the least capital intensive, right? It can be the least capital intensive. In other words, you can do this without having to spend too much money doing this particular business model, right? Shortlets, basically, I'll give you an example of one that one of my mentees did in Atlanta, Georgia. So it was able to get a particular two-bedroom apartment. Two-bedroom apartment in this particular neighborhood. So the neighborhood has the playground for kids. They had a gym. They had a central pool for everybody in that particular community. So it's a gated community that he got, and the rent is $1,800 every month. So in other words, he did not own it. Okay, but hear this. If you're going to do this, you need a letter of approval from your landlord to use his property for shortlet. Please, I want everybody to note that, right? If you're going to do shortlets and you're not the owner of the property, you want to get a letter. You want to get an approval. And please also note that, depend on the city. Some cities have banned shortlets. Some cities illegal to do shortlet. But either way, even if it's legal in your city, make sure you get a letter from the landlord, an approval, okay, agreeing that you can sublet or use this apartment for shortlet. This is very, very key. This is very, very important, and you don't want to break that rule. Okay, else you can run into big trouble. And don't say, oh, Dr. Steven talked to me and I'm in trouble. Don't do that. Okay, all I did was to do you a favor. I trained you for free. You didn't even pay me to learn. Okay, right? I don't know if you are learning. If you're learning type, I'm learning. For those of you just joining us, I'm Dr. Steven Akita, Africa's most influential investment coach, industry entrepreneur. I started my real estate business with just $10. I've grown into hundreds of millions of dollars today, and I'm sharing 5 most profitable real estate investment opportunity with you. I'd like you to share this video as many times as you can. Let it go viral so that a lot of people can learn. Somebody said that Africans don't like valuable information. They want to gossip. They want to know whether Tinubu is dead or Tinubu is alive. They want to know whether, we just want to insult our leaders, but when we are here learning valuable content, we're not going to share it. We're not going to push it out. And we have to develop the culture of celebrating intellectual power, intellectual capacity, and consuming content, consuming good information that has capacity to change our lives forever. That has to be our culture, right? And that's the only way we can build wealth and become wealthy people. So number 2 is shortlet. So this particular mentee of mine, so he got this property for $1,800 every month. That's the rent, and he was able to pay for 3 months, and then started letting it out. He put it on Airbnb and a couple of other sites. Now he was able to make average of $3,500 every month from that particular property. Okay, and he's not even the owner of that property. So in a year, this young man is able to make over $15,000. And before you know, he did the second one, he did the third one, he did the fourth one, and today he has more than 10 of this type of property in Atlanta, Georgia. And he's just able to get cash flow. Remember, the ultimate financial freedom is what? Is passive income, isn't it? Your ability to make money without having to do any other work. And one of the powerful things is once you get proper training in this short-length business, you can automate the entire process. You can even have digital keys where when anybody gets to rent the place, they just get a mail with the code to be able to enter into the property. So you're not having to go and say, I'm opening the house for them. No, they just get a code, they put in the code, and the code is timed based on how long they've paid. So the day their payment expires, the code stop working. If they extend, it gives them another code. The same thing with cleaning, right? There are cleaning companies that you can engage. Anytime a guest is out, they go there, they clean it up. There are a couple of other incentives. You can also partner with wine companies who just release new wine. A lot of wine companies do wine testing. They're looking for people who they're just going to give the wine. And that's one of the strategies. I don't know if you know Obi Kubana. He started this Odogu bitters, and what has he been doing recent times? He goes to meet people and give them the Odogu bitters. What he's doing is testing. The more he pushed that out, the more people taste it, the more they get used to it, the more they begin to demand it. Also, the more people see high net worth people or certain caliber of people who are the ones who are, taking those drinks, the more the people want to take it. So you can even get companies to give you wine for free, literally, and you're going to put an extra bonus wine for whoever is coming to your apartment. There's you can always decorate the bedroom with artificial root flowers and just give them that presidential welcome, right? And that is a powerful thing you can do. And shortlet is done anywhere in the world. You can do shortlet in Nigeria. However, another secret to shortlet business, if you're going to work, is that you have to do it in high-brow places or close to the airport or close to a university. It has to be a location where tourists come, where strangers come, where people come, or high network locations. So, it's very, very key. So shortlet, for example, would do very well in, places close to, let's say, New Jersey, but close to New York, right? Any part of New Jersey that is very close to New York, shortlet will do well there, right? Shortlet, for example, is doing big even in Sharjah. Sharjah is like the bordering city next to Dubai, okay? Because some people can't afford staying in Dubai, so they rather go and stay in the shortlet and then drive down to Dubai, do their tour and experience Dubai, and then go back to Sharjah that has a more affordable housing. So either you do it in the city center or you do it, just at the boundary to a major tourist destination. The other secret I'm going to be sharing under shortlet apartment is that you can also get a particular property and renovate it. So there could be a situation whereby this property was just so big rooms, big this, big that, and you can renovate it and just turn a 3-bedroom. In fact, Daniel Moses does this very well. Turn a 3-bedroom to a 6-bedroom, right? You can turn a 4-bedroom to a 10-bedroom and just make them in suites, 1-bedroom and suites where the toilet is there, and then you can give them a common kitchen, common playground, and before you know it, a property that used to attract, let's say $2,500 every month can start bringing in $7,000 every month. Okay, so there are situations where you buy an old property, you renovate it, and for the purpose of shortlet, okay, and you're able to quickly make a lot of money, even to pay back what it cost you to buy the property. And of course, if you're in the Western world, you can get a mortgage, you can get lenders, and to help make this whole process easy such that you're not even going to use your money as it were in the long run, right? Because you're going to recuperate your money back quickly, and you will then have, again, passive income that just keep coming to you every month. You're making something on the various properties that is under your control. Okay. Number 3 is fractional real estate. Okay, fractional real estate investment. So we've seen situations where a lot of us might not have the resources to buy a property, right? We don't have the money to be able to buy, and rather than say, hey, oh, I can't do real estate business, okay, because I don't have money to buy a 2-bedroom, a 1-bedroom, I don't have money to buy a 3-bedroom, and so real estate business is not for me. No, you can own a fraction of a property, and whatever residual income is coming from that entire whole real estate, you get a fraction of it, right? And technology has become very helpful in this area. I don't know if you know, years ago, you cannot buy a fraction of a share. If you want to buy an Apple share, you have to buy a single, 1 share or 2 or 5, but you can't buy a fraction. But do you know now you can buy a fraction of Apple share for as low as $50? If you know, type I know. If you don't know, type I don't know. You heard me. You can buy a fraction of Apple share or Google share or Amazon share for as low as $50. And whatever then becomes the dividend of 1 share, it is divided based on the fraction you own, and you get a fraction dividend, right? You get a fraction dividend. So even when that shares, grows, maybe it used to be $500 to 1 share, then it's grown to $2,000 to 1 share. That's also how your own equity will have grown from $50, right, to what? To $200, because you own a fraction of one whole estate. So right now you can also own a fraction of a house, and whatever revenue that house is generating, you are able to get a fraction of it. So even our company, GTEX Homes, will have a fractional investment program in dollars and in a local currency, in dirhams, in pounds, in naira, and you can own a fraction. And every year you are taking a piece of the cake. You are eating the real estate money. So you can own a fraction of a real estate and get returns on a regular basis. And this is a major way to build wealth, is a major way to become wealthy. You see, when you keep your money in savings account, I call it shaving account. They're shaving your hair. You're losing money. Many of your savings accounts don't drop money anymore. Years ago, when you put money in savings account, you get returns. Every month something drops. Right now, inflation has messed up your money. So some of you probably had $1 million in your bank account, right? What $1 million could buy January 2020, you probably will need $1.2 million to buy the same thing, even in America, even in Europe, even in the US. So I got somebody was sharing something about, he feels, that somebody bought real estate in Nigeria, and years later, the real estate is not working or something. Just had his own view about how the person put in $1 million after they sold that particular real estate. What came out of the real estate was about $800,000. I was talking about inflation. Inflation is all over the world. It didn't just happen in America. Inflation happened all over the world. So there's inflation globally, and money is losing power globally, globally. And so don't get into that mindset of, it was only those in Nigeria who lost money. No. So never keep your money in the bank. So buy to rent. So a lot of time we buy properties for the sake of we want to live in it. But there are concepts where you buy real estate specifically for the purpose of investment. You buy a house strictly to rent it out. You have no intention to live in the house. You will never even, as a matter of fact, live in the house. If for any reason you no longer can get money from renting the house, you prefer to sell it, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't even take advantage of this. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Okay? I want to ask you guys a question, right? which is the best to do first? Okay, buying a house to live in, or you buy a house, okay, and you rent it out while you are still in a tenant apartment, okay, while you're still a tenant. So I'll answer your question again. Which is best for you to do? You buy your own house that you're going to be living in first, or you buy the house that you're going to be renting to people to generate cash flow while you might still be living in a rented apartment. Which is the best? I'm waiting for all of you to give me an answer. Promise has shared this video 23 times. Thank you, Promise. I love you and thank you, guys. All of you just joined us. I'm Dr. Stephen Akita, Africa's most influential investment coach and a serial entrepreneur. And I'm sharing 5 most profitable real estate investment opportunity that you can take advantage of. As you're joining us, kindly share this video across all social media platforms, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, across all platforms, and share. Let this video go viral. So somebody say he will buy a house to live in before buying the one that he's going to rent out. Okay? One says, so which one? The question I'm asking is that, which of the properties should you buy first? The house that you're going to live in, or the house that you're going to rent to other people, even though you're still a tenant, you already own houses, just that you decide to rent out the house that you own, and you are still a tenant somewhere. So which one is better? So Ludari Abraham said, buying a house to rent out to generate cash while I remain a tenant, even as a neighbor in my own house. But some people will tell you that doesn't make any sense. I will buy to rent it while I live as a tenant. So those who said they are going to, buy a house and they're going to rent it out and continue to live as a tenant are correct, because the house you buy and you live in is not an asset, it's a liability. When you own a house, there's a lot of, bills on it. In some countries, you even pay tax on the house, right? You have other bills like maintenance. You have a lot of maintenance costs that also come to you because you own the house. A lot of bills you can transfer to the tenant, okay? So it's usually wiser that the first set of houses you're going to own, you are owning them for the purpose of cash flow. And you need to know this because the house you're going to live in is going to be built differently from the house you intend to rent out. The locations are going to be different. The factors are going to be different. So you need to know from day one whether you're going to first get a house for purpose of investment, for purpose of renting it out and creating cash flow, or you want to first build your own house to impress everybody, build your massive house in the village, let everybody know that you have arrived. These are some poverty cultures that a lot of us have done, and it has kept us from building lasting wealth. It's always wise to, I want to ask you another question, right? Is mortgage an asset or a liability? Okay, come on, I want quick answers. Is mortgage an asset or a liability? Take a mortgage, right? You get a house on mortgage, right? And you are living in your house. Is it an asset or a liability, right? I mean, you got this house, you decide to live in it, you only drop 20%, you're able to get a mortgage, a lender gave you 80%, and you have 30 years to pay, right? That decision, is it an asset or a liability? So Samuel says it's a liability, Abraham says an asset, right? Owunda says liability. So those of you who say liability, why is it a liability? Because people need to know why, right? A lot of times people don't even know exactly why things are done the way they are done, okay? And you must know, because if you don't know, you will keep making mistakes, and you must know. So a mortgage is a liability, okay? Yes, it is. Why? Because that house is not going to generate more money. Nope, nope. And guess what? Your lender will take their charges even before taking money for, when you start paying the mortgage, right? The first set of money they're deducting is not towards the mortgage. It's just the lender's charges, bank charges and all of that. So many of you don't know that the first, sometimes 2 years, sometimes 3 years of all sometimes 5 years, the first payment you're making for the first 2 to 5 years is not even towards the mortgage. And this is why at the end of the day, when people default on their mortgage, they end up realizing that the lender end up saying they sold the property below the market price. As a result, they are not even giving you anything. Even the equity you said you have built, you are not getting anything on that property, because you didn't know that a mortgage is not an asset, it's a liability, except you then decide to rent it out. So if you take a mortgage for a property that you intend to rent out, what will happen is that your tenant will be the one paying for the mortgage, and they will even give you change, right? So there are properties where the mortgage on it is $2,000 every month, and if you are smart about the process, you can be earning $4,000 every month on that same property, meaning your tenant is paying for the property, and you're still getting extra $2,000 every month on a property that is even on mortgage. Are you learning something? How many of you are seeing real estate money? How many of you can come on, talk to me, guys? Can you see the real estate money? So when people tell you, oh, there's no money in real estate, there's so much money. You just need to open your eye and see. Some have eyes but cannot see. Some can see but have no eyes. We have eyes and we can see. Glory be to God on earth. So are you happy? If you are happy about what you've learned today, type I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. This is eye opener. Come on, show me some love, show some gratitude, man. If you're happy about what I've shared with you for free, you didn't even pay. I spent almost an hour with you just to share without you paying a dime. I think you should show some gratitude. So I want to thank all of you for listening. I'm going to stop here.